What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. Not too long ago, we talked about the Xbox, but seemed to be getting discontinued or phased out at certain retailers. Well, now some other retailers could be joining in after a bunch of different posts were being made online. And this, once again, brings up the confidence that Microsoft has behind the Xbox brand. We'll go over all of that here today. Also, we do have a big release for Nintendo leaking out online. Go figure, it happens a lot with the Switch one. And this one, well, certainly isn't going to make Nintendo or the Pokémon company very happy to see. And we'll also be talking about a handheld that leaked out prior. Now we have full confirmation around the system itself, as well as the price point. And this time, though, it's actually good news. Not too often you hear that around pricing for things now, but we'll take a look at that here today. Guys, if you enjoy these videos, make sure you hit that like button. Helps out a ton. And if you're new here to the Spawnwave channel, make sure you subscribe down below. And of course, guys, we are here every weekday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern time, going over all different gaming news, try to keep you up to speed. So check in, even if you don't get a notification in the morning, most likely there's a video here for you. We're gonna start today with Battlefield 6. It went live last week, and it looks like it's setting a pretty good high watermark for the series. We can see this over on SteamDB, where it had hit 747,000 all-time peak players. That is significantly higher than Battlefield 2042 when that launched back in 2021. That just eclipsed the 100,000 mark. Yeah, Battlefield 6 doing quite a bit better here, and I mean, some of that has to do with, I think, some of the Call of Duty fatigue that's setting in, and also the direction that Call of Duty went in, where it just wasn't taking itself seriously at all with some of the crossovers they were doing. It was kind of goofy at first, but then it sort of felt played out when you had Beavis and Butthead running around and a Ninja Turtle on a skateboard. It was all over the place. Battlefield, much more boots on the ground, realistic, wide scale in terms of warfare. And I will say it is fun. I've played some of the multiplayer matches so far. I did pick it up over the weekend after the podcast, and it's Battlefield. It is something you want to have, I'd say, a crew together to go into some of these matches with, but also you can just blow a bunch of stuff and have fun. So there you go. Battlefield appears to be back, at least now, with it having almost 750,000 current players over the weekend. Also, here's a cool video that popped up. This is a person designing a dock for the 3DS, but not just a dock that delivers power. Nintendo had that. This is more like the Switch dock. You can see some of the video here. And this is from YouTuber Kuzix. Anyway, they go through the entire process of setting all of this up, 3D printing and all, and it looks like a process, absolutely. But it's still really awesome to see the final product where they can just sort of drop the 3DS in, and then it pops up on screen. And they also have the Switch Pro controller syncing up. That seems like it would work with just about any of the Bluetooth controllers. However, it's pretty cool to see. And here's the thing: people are going to say, "Oh, I want one of those." The process is quite in depth. There's a lot happening here, and that also involves installing one of those internal capture or video out devices, I should say, through USB-C. So maybe check out the video first before you think it's something you're going to really get into. Either way, it was pretty cool to see. This is technically a possibility. I think it's the first time we've seen this for a video out and power dock for the 3DS. So who knows, maybe other people pick up and run with it, and we start seeing 3DS docks all over the place. At least for now, though, we have an example here in this video. Oh, and we did have another Switch 2 game leak out early. This we could see from Wario 64. It is indeed Assassin's Creed Shadows. We've already heard about this multiple times. It's been rumored and stuff. So here we go, Ubisoft, after they seem to find success with Star Wars Outlaws on the Switch 2. Okay, Assassin's Creed Shadows. Yes, it'd be a Switch 2 keycard, probably for multiple reasons. We heard about with Star Wars Outlaws that there wasn't even a discussion around using an actual cartridge because of the overall speed issues that they had with that card and needing to use the internal SSD or micro SD express card. But also, this is a big game. It is larger on all the other platforms than 64 gigabytes. So that alone, I think, rules out the largest card that Nintendo has currently for the Switch 2. When is this coming out? Hard to say, because really Ubisoft could announce it any time and then launch it a couple of weeks later. Seems like something they would want to have for the holiday season, so maybe they just make the announcement randomly on social media in the coming weeks and they try to get it on store shelves by December, so we'll see. And guys, with some of the quick news out of the way, let's get into the bigger stuff. Let's start right away with Microsoft and the Xbox at retail, or lack thereof being at retail. Anyway, there were a few posts that were made previously around Costco not having Xbox consoles in store, but then also disappearing from the website despite having a Nintendo and PlayStation section. Even VR was present. No Xbox though. That's weird. Sam's Club. People were noticing there are deep discounts, almost like they were just trying to close out or sell off whatever Xbox stock they had. And now we're hearing about Target and Walmart. See, previously I said Costco, Sam's Club. Okay, I mean those are bigger retailers, but most people I feel like go to other stores like your Target, like your Walmart, like your Best Buy or GameStop. So when I start hearing about two of those four, I take a bit more notice, and so we can see this. This is over on The Gamer, saying Target and Walmart are pulling their Xbox stock according to alleged staff. These seem to be coming from different Reddit posts that were just made over the last couple of days, like this over on Gaming, saying the Target I work for is no longer selling Xbox games. And in some of these replies, like Space Fox says the Walmart store I work at is getting rid of Xbox games too, doing a whole store remodel right now, and the new layout for electronics will have no Xbox games, and Switch and PlayStation will be condensed to one lock case each. Almost like just games in general, physical games are shrinking down, which you look at the market, we already have kind of talked about how digital is taking over more and more each year. And then we have this post over on just the Xbox subreddit from code E1985. My local Target is getting rid of their Xbox section. And it looks like they have one of those center console, those where they have some of the games that are locked up a bit there. And it's just empty, with even the power strips and stuff being removed and unplugged on a pallet, saying that their local Target is getting rid of their entire Xbox section. What followed here, same thing. People just saying, oh yeah, my Walmart or my Target also doing this. Now, because this was all going down, the Outer Haven decided to just go out and visit Targets. I thought that was interesting. And what they came across were some pretty poor results for Xbox. A lot of them they mentioned felt like ghost towns with your typical sports games being present, and that's kind of it. No consoles or controllers. Driving further, did manage to speak with an employee who just said that every October Target tends to rearrange its shelves. That might explain the lack of Xbox stock, and that also lines up with a person on Reddit had mentioned. And here's the thing, we've already talked about the idea that Microsoft doesn't seem that interested in selling Xbox consoles. And yeah, it's gonna be harder to sell these systems as we go along. They're down significant percentages every fiscal year, talking like 30, 40, 35%. It's a constant trend downwards for this. And now the Xbox Series X with a disc drive is $650, and the whole thing starts with an Xbox Series S at like $380. So you look around and see the Switch 1, even with the Switch Lite, I mean, that's a $230 system. That's still the cheapest thing on the market right now. The PlayStation 5 continues to be in demand. Yeah, if you're a big box store and you're rearranging right now, I would assume going into the holiday season, where you have to figure out what's going to be most prominently displayed in front of customers, you're going to dedicate the most floor space to things that are selling, and right now, that's not really Xbox. And then as all of this is going down, Microsoft did issue a statement. This was to Windows Central, Jez Corden, when asked about, hey, what's going on with Walmart and Target and all this talk online about you guys just leaving retail? They say Target and Walmart, among other retailers, remain committed partners for Xbox consoles, accessories, and games. So as of now, according to Microsoft, hey, they're still partnered here with the retailers that were listed as, I guess, removing Xbox consoles and games, and these sections being phased out, and the circular ad at Walmart not having Xbox. Microsoft says they're still committed partners. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep an eye even on, I go to my Walmart here and there throughout the month. So I'll keep an eye on the electronics section. I'm curious if that Xbox, which is still fairly large, I think right now, like it's an aisle basically. I'll keep an eye on that to see if it continues to shrink down maybe. And also let me know down in the comments if you have any experiences seeing this, whether even if you work at some of these places or if you've been visiting really any retailer now, because we probably have to keep an eye on Best Buy and even GameStop. Let me know if some of those places are shrinking down their Xbox sections, lining up with what we're seeing here. Next up, let's talk about a major leak that's hit Nintendo and the Pokémon company. Go figure. It's also a Switch 1 game. I know people are with the Switch 2, they're looking forward to Pokemon Legends ZA, but there are a ton of people out there who still have the Switch 1, and I mean, this is a game that was announced for that specifically, so yeah, it's probably gonna leak out there like every other game. But take a look. This is posted. This is by Nintendo, and I saw this and I said, oh, of course that would happen. They say it looks like someone stole a bunch of copies of Legends ZA and is selling them already. I think so people were posting, some deleted them, that they had bought Pokemon Legends ZA early. I don't think I would post that I had bought copies of Pokemon Legends ZA ahead of release from a random back alley or storefront somewhere, because the Pokemon Company, as we know, is very vigilant with online discourse around things like the next big Pokemon release. So they're gonna notice, all right? But anyway, yes, the game has been getting out there early. And here, if it's a Switch 2 game, I don't think it would matter that much because the Switch 2 isn't hacked. You can't dump Switch 2 games, but you can dump Switch 1 games. And over the weekend, we had things leaking out as there was data mining that was happening. Even the day one update appeared to get data mined for some reason. I guess Nintendo or the Pokemon Company didn't realize that could happen. And we just saw leaks get out there. Spoilers are going crazy right now online as people are pulling assets and different bits of information out of the files. And now the game is it's just completely been dumped and then uploaded online, with many places like Nintendo Everything even confirming it. And yeah, if you know where to look, I will tell you the ROM has been posted and it's just circulating completely. So yes, here is your warning for spoilers around Pokemon Legends EA, since it is circulating quite a bit right now. Not even just people having to play through the game to spoil stuff, just because things are being pulled directly out of the game as people are data mining for all the end game stuff already. So the game comes out October 16th. At least it didn't leak out, a week or 2 weeks early or something, but still it's going around. And that means you could have different evolutions or surprises. I guess plot twist, it's Pokemon. I feel like people are thinking of other things outside of the storyline for the game necessarily, but that's just how it's been with Nintendo for the entire Switch 1 life, it feels like. I guess to their credit now, as they get more and more into the Switch 2 generation and you just get Switch 2 games, they won't have to deal with this as much. But yeah, just big warning. Pokemon Legends EA floating around out there right now online, and if you see a thread that says spoilers inside, just know, yeah, they're actually in there. They're not messing around. Next up, let's talk about Anbernic, as they did announce their DS-like emulation handheld. In fact, they put this video up, and the title is pretty funny because it just says, under 100 dual screen gaming. The Anbernic RGDS is coming, exclamation point, space, exclamation point, space, exclamation point. All right, anyway, under $100 is the headline here, which is great news. They did show off a couple different versions of this thing. So we have the red and black, immediate spikes of nostalgia, at least for me, with the DS Lite. That's the DS Lite variant I had, where it was like that glossy red on top and the rest of it was this matte black. Really, really slick looking handheld. Then you have the white with Super Famicom style buttons. The aqua blue, also some nostalgia. It is kind of sad to say that about the 3DS. 3DS doesn't feel that old, and then you go, oh wait, yeah, it's like 14 years old now. So aqua blue has that 3DS color style to it, which is really, really cool. And then there's the all clear with Super Famicom style buttons. I am torn right now because the red and black looks good. The aqua blue looks good. I'm not sure which way to go with this one. I feel like I should default to the original, the red and black, but the aqua blue, that was the 3DS back in the day. At least for me, that was the one to get. It just looked really good in person. So this is tough. It is under $100. I'm wondering if it's $99. I mean, that is the marketing ploy. $99.99. Hey, it's under $100. Yes, by a penny. Don't worry about taxes and shipping. The sticker price is under $100. I'm thinking this might be like $90. And then again, you could tack on shipping or whatever else there. But I'm sort of thinking $90 on this. And I do like that they decided to go with, hey, we're going to make a system that is specifically geared towards one device to emulate, that being the DS. Obvious here, right? 2 4x3 screens, it looks like. The form factor, the button placement, all of it is lined up to play DS games, and that's fine because the price point is going to be under $100, so it's easier to justify buying a system like that for just one device to emulate, as opposed to, oh, it also plays all these other things, and because that is $220, doesn't play them great, because of the way it's all set up, the form factor, the screen size, but you can do it, and that's why we're going to charge you more. No, just, hey, it's a DS, really at the heart of the whole thing, and it's 90 some odd dollars. Now, you could still play, I'm sure, Super Nintendo, Genesis, PS1, maybe N64, Dreamcast. Those games I think will still work. It's a 4x3 screen. Just understand that it's mostly there to play DS games. Still though, if the performance is good along with the battery life, I think they have something here, and I'll be picking this up day one to check out. Really cool stuff. Still waiting for a release date and an exact pricing, but right now things are looking good for it. And in our last bit of news, we're going to stick with some nostalgia going back to the old flip phone days, because there's a game from Insomniac that was found and really for a while thought it didn't even exist or never saw any kind of playable version. Well, not only was it found, you can play it right now if you want. This we can see. This is over on Games Radar saying Ratchet and Clank going mobile got a strong reception when it launched in 2005, but its sequel titled Clone Home, that's Ratchet and Clank Clone Home, and set to launch in 2006, never saw the light of day. At least until now, Clone Home has been found, and not only just as a playable prototype or broken development build either, a full version of the game. It's playable from beginning to end. In fact, there is a video right now you can see from the Gaming Bolt. I'll have that link down below in the sources. You want to check it out for yourself, where they go over the entire history of how this game was tracked down and even some footage of it. And along with that, they have an entire playthrough of the game. Now, the way this worked, apparently, it was found on a Sony Ericsson. And we're going back, guys. The flip phone days, where you had to open the phone up and you had physical buttons to press. And you had that weird size screen, right? Well, this game is designed for that odd-shaped screen. And I say odd-shaped because it was kind of like the portrait style almost. It, again, weird resolution stuff, I'm sure. But the Sony Ericsson, it was able to be decrypted with the game on it. So if that phone, as they say, had died, this game would be gone, but they were able to decrypt the phone and then pull the game, dump it, and then have it uploaded with a fully playable build on archive.org. Yes, so you yourself can go check it out now. Again, these are the old days of the phone game, so they're pretty rudimentary platformer. This is with Ratchet and Clank included, but it was still an interesting point in time for gaming, and it's really cool to see that they were able to back this up and preserve it in this way, since these just aren't really the kind of games you get anymore. Again, I'll have it linked down below in the sources if you want to see more about the game or try it for yourself. Or, hey, let me know down in the comments if you still have one of those flip phones and it works, whether it's, I'm trying to think of the phones back then. I think I had a Motorola, was the flip, like the first flip phone I had. And the amazing thing was it didn't do the MIDI rings when people would call you. It would be able to play MP3 files for songs and stuff. It was a big deal back then. Yeah, it's pretty old, I know, but this is 2005, 2006. I'm thinking like Motorola or like the Razor back then. Sony Ericsson's brought out, there are all kinds of old phones you can type in and see just how old some of us really are. And before we go to the comments of the day, we'll take a look at the poll that I posted up yesterday, where I ask, do you go to the store, so GameStop, Walmart, Best Buy, etc., to buy most of your games? 65% say no, 35% say yes. So I see people in the comments here, some are like, oh, it's either online or in store. I do buy physical. So I understand. Look, Amazon, it's so easy. You just pull it up on your phone. Okay, yeah, go ahead, pre-order. And even if they don't get it to you on release day, maybe the next day or something, there is that convenience factor that I completely understand. But, you know, I was asking the podcast this past weekend, hey, you think they're gonna do Legends ZA midnight release? That's something that still sticks with me, those midnight release experiences. And I think in some areas they will. You're not gonna ever have that with buying online or buying digitally. There's just something to that. People going out at like literally when the next day hits, 12:01 a.m. You can get the game, go home and play it. So that's something we're probably going to lose, I assume, with the digital era as that keeps coming in, but it's cool to see that some games still do that. But that really midnight release, typically the thing that would pull me out to a store, but every now and then still I'll go by my local GameStop or Best Buy and pick up a couple of new releases. But it's hard to argue against the convenience of the online order. And we'll finish up with the comments of the day, as you're seeing here. This is from Mike, who says, Nintendo Ninja's removing vids from folks like Arlo and others for showing the Pikmin video from the Nintendo Today app. To my understanding, people were going back through and disputing that on the back end of YouTube, and Nintendo was releasing those claims or the blocks. So I don't know if it's something where they have a company that automatically goes out and blocks or claims these videos and you need to do a counterclaim for it. It's just extra steps and like just annoying stuff, to be honest. It is weird that Nintendo treats the Nintendo Today app as its own video platform, but as its own copyright platform, to where you figure if you post something on Nintendo Today, if you're Nintendo, you want people to talk about it, to share it, and to allow it to kind of just go viral. If you release something cool on Nintendo Today, people post it all over social media. It just goes viral immediately that day. Seems great for brand awareness. Nintendo just kind of doing that weird thing. I don't know. I know they want people to download Nintendo Today. Sometimes, though, you just gotta let people share this stuff, and then maybe people will find their way to your application, because a lot of cool stuff really just keeps coming out of there, and I want to be the first one to see it when it happens. And ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna do it here for Newswave. If you enjoyed this video, guys, hit that like button. If not, hit the dislike. Leave comments down below about everything we talked about here today. If you missed last week's Newswave, I'll leave it up here in a card, or maybe want to check out the latest episode of the Spawncast. We recorded that over the weekend, talking about all kinds of stuff in gaming. I'll leave that right below it. Thanks, guys, for watching, and I'll see you next time.